Electric flux. Electric flux through an area in an electric field may be defined as the total number of electric field lines crossing through that area normally. Normally means perpendicular to the plane surface. Electric flux through a plane surface. Electric flux through a surface inclined to the angle. See, my children, this is the animation diagram which represent the electric field lines passing through different surface area. Case 1, electric field normal to the plane surface. See here, electric field lines are passing through the surface area normally. What happened? So the number of field lines per unit surface area is directly proportional to E. So N is directly proportional to ES, where E is the electric field, N is the number of electric field lines in the surface area. Then electric flux, it is denoted phi A, that is equal to ES, the product of electric field and surface area. Next, second one, electric field inclined with plane surface, which angle is theta. Surface area and electric field lines, the angle between them theta. Phi is equal to E cos theta S based on the component of vector. So finally phi is equal to E bar dot S bar based on the dot product. So if the angle between them 0, what happen? If the angle between them changes, what happen? We will see. Electric flux is maximum when theta is equal to 0. Then phi A is equal to ES cos theta. Cos 0 is equal to 1. We can get maximum. Then next one, theta value 90 degrees. Yes, theta value 90 degrees means cos 90 0. The flux minimum, because cos 90 0. For electric flux is equal to 0. Electric field lines inclined with a plane surface. Small area ds and normal outward. Okay, based on the component of vector, we can write d phi a is equal to ds e cos theta. E ds cos theta. D phi a is equal to E bar dot ds. Then total flux is equal to sigma all area elements E bar dot ds. Area is scalar, but area, small area is vector quantity, my children. So for a closed surface, phi is equal to circle integral of E bar dot ds bar. Linear charge density. When charge is distributed along a line, the charge distribution is known as linear charge distribution. It is denoted by lambda. The mathematical expression is given as lambda is equal to q by L, charge per unit length, where lambda is the linear charge density, q is the charge distributed along the line, L is the length of the rod. Next one, surface charge density. When charge is distributed along a surface, the charge distribution is known as surface charge density. It is denoted sigma. The mathematical expression is given as sigma is equal to q by a, charge per unit area, where sigma is surface charge density, charge distributed on area. Next, volume charge density. When the charge is distributed over a volume, the charge distribution is known as volume charge distribution. It is denoted by delta. The mathematical expression is given as delta is equal to charge per unit volume q by v, where delta is the volume charge density. V is the volume of the conductor. Q is the charge on the sphere. Coming to Gauss law, my dear children. According to this law, the total electric flux through a closed surface enclosing the charge is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the magnitude of the charge enclosed. The mathematical expression is given by phi is equal to EDS, or phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught, where phi is the electric flux, Q is the charge, epsilon naught is absolute permittivity. Proof of Gauss law. Consider that point charge Q is situated at the center of a sphere of radius A. Consider small elementary surface area ds and consider electric field which are angle between them is theta. Then according to Coulomb's law, E bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a square into a cap, where a cap is the unit vector along the line of OP. The electric flux through an area element ds is given by phi is equal to E into ds based on the flux. So according to this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a square a cap dot ds, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a square 1 ds cos 0. D phi is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by a square ds. Therefore, electric flux through the closed surface of the sphere phi is equal to integration of d phi, integration of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught a square by ds. Phi is equal to, after cancellation we can phi is equal to q by epsilon naught. It proves the Gauss theorem in electrostatics. Applications of Gauss law. Electric field due to a line charge. Consider thin infinite long straight line charge of linear charge density lambda. Let p is the point at the distance from the line. To find the electric field at point P, draw a cylindrical surface of the radius of A and length is L. If E is the magnitude of the electric field at point P, then the electric flux through the Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface means the assumed line, we can say that is Gaussian surface. Phi is equal to electric field into area of the curved surface of the cylinder of radius r and length L. As electric lines of the force parallel to the surface and face circular caps of the cylinder, therefore no component of the field along the normal to the end of the surface. Phi is equal to E into 2 pi AL. So 2 pi AL is the area of the cylinder. According to Gauss theorem, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Then Q is equal to lambda L, charge per unit length. Phi is equal to lambda L by epsilon naught. That is equation 2. From equation 1 and 2, we get E into 2 pi AL lambda L by epsilon naught. E is equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by A. So finally, this is the final expression for electric field. Next, applications of Gauss law. Electric field due to a infinite plane sheet of the charge. Consider an infinite thin plane sheet of positive charge with a uniform surface charge density sigma on both sides on the sheet. Let P be the point a distance from the seat at which the electric field is required. First of all, draw the Gaussian cylinder of area of cross section A through point P. The electric flux crossing through the Gaussian surface phi is equal to A into area of the circular portion of the cylinder. Since electric lines of force perpendicular to the curved parallel to the curved surface of the cylinder, the flux due to the electric field of the plane sheet charge passes only through the two circular portion of the cylinder. Phi is equal to E into 2A. See here, 2 times of area, because two surfaces is there. According to Gauss theorem, phi is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Here the charge enclosed the Gaussian surface Q is equal to sigma A, because two surfaces area Q is equal to sigma into 2A. Then flux phi is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught, because sigma is equal to, from equation 1 and 2 we can get E into 2A is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. A gets cancelled. Sigma is equal to E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is the final expression for the electric.
Hi students, this is Venkateshwarlu, Physics Faculty TNPS. Now I can go through electric flux and Gauss theorem. This is the last sub-content of our plus 2 Physics chapter 1, electric charges and fields. Coming to electric flux and Gauss law. So this content is very important for board exams 2021. Coming to electric flux, it is denoted phi, which is defined as the total number of electric field lines that normally passes that surface. It is a scalar product. See here, this is closed surface, so this is electric field. So arrow indicates electric field. The number of electric field lines passing through surface area normally to the surface. So this is surface, this is normal. So here ds is the area vector, here E electric field vector. So it is scalar product. According to that statement, d phi is equal to E dot ds. It is dot or scalar product. So according to scalar product, d phi is equal to eds cos theta. E means electric field intensity or electric field. ds means area vector. Cos theta means the angle between electric field intensity and area vector. Okay. So coming to the formula, d phi is equal to eds cos theta. So integrating both sides, we can get phi is equal to surface integral of eds cos theta. Okay, surface integral, yes, surface integral. Unit, we know that electric field intensity SI unit is Newton per coulomb. From we can this we can get from E is equal to F by Q formula. It is formula. ds area. So SI unit area is meter square. Okay. So SI unit of electric flux Newton per coulomb meter square, or Newton meter square per coulomb. Coming to dimension formula. So by using dimension formula for force, by using dimension formula for force, and area and charge, we can get dimension formula for electric flux m power 1, L power 3, T power minus 3, A power minus 1. Okay, so this electric flux is a scalar quantity. So we know that scalar, the physical quantity having only magnitude, not direction, is called scalar quantity. Okay, so next, uh, uh, special cases based on the electric flux. Okay, so first case, for angle 0 degrees is less than theta less than 90 degrees, phi is positive. Okay, see here electric field intensity E and ds area vector. If the angle between them is lies between 0 to 90 degrees, it is positive. And for angle theta is equal to 90 degrees, means this ds and E are perpendicular to each other. So we know that cos 90 degrees is equal to 0. So then, third case, for 90 degrees less than theta less than 180 degrees, phi is equal to negative. Phi is equal to negative. Coming to the next content, Gauss theorem, which is very, very important for board exam 2021. So, coming to the statement of Gauss theorem. The surface integral of the electric field intensity E over any closed surface in free space is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed within the surface. Means, from the statement we can write phi E electric flux, which is equal to surface integral of EDS, which is equal to 1 by epsilon naught total charge is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. So then here phi E is electric flux, E is electric field intensity or electric field. Here Q total charge inside the closed surface. Q is total charge inside the closed surface. Epsilon naught permittivity of free space. So here we can use formula, phi E is equal to integral EDS. Phi E is equal to integral EDS cos theta according to dot product. Phi E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So this is about Gauss theorem statement. So once again, statement, the surface integral of the electric field intensity over any closed surface in free space is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of the net charge enclosed within the surface. Very, very important formula. Phi is equal to integral surface integral EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Next, coming to the proof of Gauss theorem. Proof of Gauss theorem. How we can get that integral EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Okay, for this purpose, we can consider a spherical body. A spherical body, radius is R. Consider a small unit area. Okay, here, so inside we can take charge. Okay, electric field intensity is outward, and here area vector is acting along the direction of electric field. Okay, here area vector and electric field vector both are in same direction. The angle between them is 0. Okay, so according to Gauss theorem statement, we can write d phi E is equal to E ds cos theta. Here theta is equal to 0. Why we can say theta is equal to 0 means the angle between E and ds is 0. Okay, cos 0 1. Okay, so and ds surface area of spherical surface is 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square. So be careful, surface area of this sphere is 4 pi r square according to formula. So we know that electric field intensity formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square. Okay. So according to once again statement, phi is equal to integral d phi e is equal to e integral ds. Okay, so we can substitute e value and ds value in this formula. Phi e is equal to surface integral of d phi e is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into 4 pi r square into 1. Okay, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square means that is e. Then 4 pi r square ds cos theta cos 0 1. Okay, by cancelling 4 by 4 pi 4 pi r square we can get phi e is equal to q by epsilon naught. If there is no net charge within the enclosed surface, that is when q is equal to 0, then electric flux is 0. Uh, Coming to applications of Gauss theorem, very important. It is also very important. Here three applications is there. Three are very important for board exams. So coming to applications, the electric field due to some symmetric charge configurations can be obtained using Gauss law. Coming to first application, field due to an infinitely long thin straight charge wire. Field due to an infinitely long thin straight charged wire. Okay, here this is a wire. Okay, long thin wire. So this dotted line which is indicate closed surface, this closed surface we can say Gaussian surface. Okay, here we can consider 3 points a b c. At a electric field intensity is rightwards, area vector is downwards. So here this is area vector is always perpendicular to the area. So here at B, electric field intensity and area vector is same direction, because electric field intensity always normally to the charged body. Normally to the charged body. It is charged. It is always like this. Normally to the. Here at C, we can observe at C, electric field intensity leftward direction and area vector is upward direction. Here the angle between them is 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Okay, here suppose it is positive charged thin wire. We can observe here electric field intensity is always normally to the surface like this. Both side we can get arrow marks because it is positive charge. The field lines are outward direction. Outward direction. Okay, for this case, we can consider statement. What is the statement of Gauss theorem? The surface integral of electric field intensity over any closed surface in free space, which is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of total charge. Okay, so here we can calculate total flux through the A, B, C. Three areas we can sum, we can get the electric field intensity of infinite wire. Okay, so here we can observe these 3 points. Here A and at C, the angle between electric field intensity and ds is 90 degrees according to dot product eds cos theta. eds cos 90 0. Here at A, at B, we can get electric flux. Electric flux we can get 0 because the angle between them is 90 degrees. At B we can get the maximum flux because here both are same direction. The angle between them is theta is equal to 0. Okay, so see here we can add at A, at B, at C we can apply Gauss law. So that is integral EDS is equal to integral EDS at A plus integral EDS at B integral EDS at C. So we know that we know that at A 90 degrees, at B 0, at C 90 degrees. Here this part and this part will become 0 because 90 degrees. Okay. So coming to finally integral surface integral EDS is equal to 0 plus integral EDS plus 0. Okay. So integral surface integral EDS is equal to surface integral at B EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Okay. So E integral ds is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Okay, ds surface area of this Gaussian surface. Here we can observe Gaussian surface. This dotted line is Gaussian surface. The how we can calculate this Gaussian surface means by using cylinder formula. By using cylinder formula. Okay. The surface area of cylinder is 2 pi RL. 2 pi RL. So by using surface area of closed surface, so that surface area is 2 pi RL. E into 2 pi RL is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. This part we can send right side, we can get E is equal to Q by 2 pi epsilon naught R into L, which is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R Q by L. Cube charge per unit length. Charge per unit length. Linear charge density. It is denoted lambda. Q by L is equal to lambda. Finally, electric field intensity of long infinite wire lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. So this is final formula. E is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R, lambda linear charge density. So now we can draw the graph between electric field intensity and radius. Okay. So if electric field intensity varies with respect to r, so r means the distance between from charge to Gaussian surface. Gaussian surface. So here r increases means e decreases, electric field intensity decreases. Coming to second application, field due to a thin infinite plane sheet of a charge. See here, this is plane sheet. Okay, this plane sheet contain positive charges. This plane surface having two surfaces. So this is upper surface and another one is lower surface. Okay, understand? Two surfaces is there, upside and downside. So here we can have two surface area, two surfaces area. This is Gaussian surface. Here one surface, downside one surface. Okay, according to statement, we know that Gauss law statement, the surface integral of electric field intensity over a closed surface in a free space, which is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times of total charge. Okay, so according to this infinite plane sheet contain two surfaces, means two sides. Each side area we can denote it a. So now the surface area of this sheet upside and downside we can denote it 2a. 2a. Okay, 2a area of this Gaussian surface. So here one area, downside one area, two area, 2 into area. So according to Gauss theorem, E into surface integral of ds is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Here surface area we can have in this case 2a. E into 2a, which is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. 2a is there. We can send the right side. E is equal to Q by 2a into epsilon naught. Q divided by 2a. Q divided by A. Charge per unit surface area. Charge per area. Surface charge density. Sigma indicates surface charge density. Okay, if Q by A is equal to sigma, we can rewrite this formula. E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is the electric field intensity of thin infinite plane sheet of the charge. Coming to third application, field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical cell. Okay, here we can take one spherical cell. Okay, so which is in spherical surface. So here in this case we can have three parts. So first one is at a point outside the cell. Here we can consider one point. This is Gaussian surface. This is a sphere charge. It is denoted positive charge. So inside the sphere there is no charge, because charge is always resides the surface. Charge not inside the body. Charge is always present on the surface. Okay, so here dotted line which is indicates closed surface or Gaussian surface. The radius of the original sphere is r. The radius of the Gaussian surface is smaller. So here the case is at a point outside the cell. So this is one cell, spherical cell. Point is outside the cell, because here we can take point. So the this dotted line indicates closed surface or Gaussian surface. According to statement, we know the statement, phi is equal to surface integral EDS, which is equal to q by epsilon naught. Here ds and e are in the same direction. Here we can observe at this point area vector and electric field intensity both are in same direction. The angle between them is 0. Okay, so we know that according to statement, phi is equal to e into integral ds, which is equal to q by epsilon naught. Here integral ds means surface area of Gaussian, a Gaussian dotted line. Okay, surface area. Surface area of the surface is area of Gaussian surface is uh, pi r square. Pi r square. R is the radius of the Gaussian surface. Integral EDS is equal to 4 pi r square, because surface area E into 4 pi r square, which is equal to q by epsilon naught according to statement. So we can send this 4 pi r square right side, q by 4 pi r square into epsilon naught. Okay, so here according to surface charge density, we can take q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. Q is equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. So this formula we can get surface charge density, charge per unit area, charge per area, surface area of cell 4 pi r square, 4 pi r square, because r is the radius. So by substituting this sigma into 4 pi r square instead of q, already 4 pi r square epsilon naught is there, 4 pi 4 pi gets cancelled. So we can get electric field intensity E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught capital R by small r whole square. Okay, this is first point. Coming to second one, second case. Second case. So at a point on the surface of the cell, at a point on the surface of the cell, if small r is equal to capital R, because here we can observe this is a spherical cell. So this is assumed Gaussian surface. Here the case is at point on the surface of the cell. R small r is equal to capital R. Gaussian surface and radius of the sphere is same. Okay, so this values we can substitute above equation, we can get the final formula. E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught capital R by small r. The condition is small r is equal to capital R. R gets cancelled. We can get E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. At a point on the surface of the cell, is electric field intensity E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma means surface charge density. Surface charge density. Okay. So in Gauss law, third application, third point is at a point inside the cell. At a point inside the cell. Here this is spherical cell. So we can calculate the electric field intensity inside the spherical cell. At this point, radius is it is denoted small r because Gaussian surface having radius is small r, and capital R is the radius of the cell. So here we can conclude that here inside the inside the cell there is no charge because we know that charge is always resides the surface. Okay. See here inside the cell net charge is zero. Net charge is zero. According to statement, phi e is equal to integral EDS is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Here Q is equal to zero. Q is equal to 0, we can get electric field intensity inside the cell is 0. So here up to this the entire chapter is completed.